Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome back. Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back. Good morning. Hey, good morning everyone.
Good
morning. Welcome to the Empowered Living Morning Show.
Yeah.
Here we are again.
We learn together.
Somebody said, well, why don't we do Man's Search for Meaning?
Yeah. I don't know that you can truly find mastery of your life without understanding the meaning of your life.
Right.
Then I grasped the meaning of the greatest secret that human poetry and human thought and belief have to impart. The salvation of humans is through love and in love.
Isn't that beautiful?
It is so beautiful. We laugh together.
Being around family at a time like this is so important. So if you're working from home is fantastic.
We share hope for the future as we watch the sunrise. When times are hard, we pray together.
My name is Joanna Macris, and I come from Greece.
I am Malawi in sub-Saharan Africa.
And we mourn the passing of friends together.
We are from Johannesburg, South Africa.
We're reaching from Lagos, Nigeria.
From Birmingham.
We have supported those in need in ways that matter.
Thanks again to Paul and all of our friends, the Empowered Living community.
Side by side, we have learned from relevant teachers and experts from within this community.
The women of Empowered Living, I guess we're the ones behind the scenes.
And almost immediately that I was kind of forming these thoughts, then this kind of voice in my head, is the only way I can really describe it, was you don't need to help me, Dad. I'm fine just the way I am. I'm fine just the way I am. And it was a very kind of profound moment.
Thank you, Paul and Roddy, for believing in me.
I'm living an absolutely empowered life.
Very excited to be with you today.
In the Empowered Living platform to host today's show.
We're coming together for one central purpose, and that purpose is to grow.
And from outside it too.
For me, to live an empowered life is defining your goals and going after it fearlessly.
And it's just people who really want to help somebody else live an empowered life.
To be empowered, I think, is to choose an attitude that says, I can give more than I get. That empowers you to make things better.
This is who we have been for each other, and who we are, and who we will continue to be as the future unfolds. We are in this together. We are the Empowered Living community.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we got a very special guest today, haven't we?
Yeah, we're keeping
got like a theme.
We've got a theme this week, kind of focusing in on you, kind of our members. We had
the Gormans, Greg and Julie. Yeah, that was fun, and they're local, so they popped in. Mike Lightner.
Lightner.
This is his fourth book.
Number 4. Amazing.
He just kind of like got on with it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this little book.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great book for your desk.
With wisdom. Yeah.
It really is. Tomorrow,
Paul Gustafson.
Another great book.
Another great book, yeah.
I don't know how many Paul's written, too. He's written a bunch of books. And he interviews a lot of authors. I mean,
that's his thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Really is.
Yeah, he's got his own kind of platform.
Yeah.
And a very successful businessman
Platform
as well.
builders, I think is what it's called. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then tonight, episode 2 of the Black Entrepreneur Institute.
Yeah.
Tonight
at
at
7:30 p.m. Eastern.
Don't miss that.
Yeah.
What else we have? The chef.
The 4th of July special. Yeah. Cooking special. It's gonna be great.
I ate some of the food last night.
Oh, did you? What was it like?
Oh, it was really good. Yeah.
But what does it look like? That's the main thing, isn't it?
He had a fantastic.
Did it look patriotic?
He had barbecue chicken. It was fantastic. It's like
Duffy's wings.
Yeah, it was so good. And then he had potato salad that was just really good bacon, right? All the right stuff, and it was delicious. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys are gonna love 4th of July. We'll be introducing you to Chef Bryce. It was great. And then
what else have we got? Oh, so we've got Katrina Kibben from Future.
That's right,
Future Proof.
She's on
and
Friday.
Jeff. Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Friday. So those of you who are in Future Proof, already know Jeff and Katrina. If you haven't met them, you're going to love them.
Yeah, they've both got. In fact, the whole of Future Proof, everyone brings their own thing, don't they? Each one is like, I really need this.
Saying yesterday, yeah.
I really need this. I really need this.
And then coming up, we've got Josh Squares. So we have Josh Rich creating a diversity program. So for those of you that are looking to bring a diversity program to your marketplace, we're going to have a fantastic program that you'll be able to license and teach on. And then also
it's going to be
Josh Finley.
Epic. Yeah.
Our first kind of faith-based, spiritual kind of program with Josh.
That's going to be good as well.
So both of those are in creation right now. I think we're doing diversity. It's going to be July 25th. It'll be a master class on July 25th.
Yeah.
So for those of you, it's great. He's a great teacher, great communicator.
Great communicator as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, you're going to love it. So
yeah, that's great. We're really turning it up a notch, aren't we?
Is, yeah.
Credit to you for your kind of planning ahead and
and we've got some great guests.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Are we not allowed to say about yet?
Oh, you go ahead, say the one. Yeah.
Well, if you heard of the Enneagram, Ian Cron. Oh my goodness.
Ian Cron is amazing. Just Google him.
Oh.
Ian Cron, C-R-O-N, and you'll be amazed.
The interview was like.
I mean.
You don't understand.
We were like, okay, 15 minutes and like 35 minutes in, we're like, we have to wrap this up. I mean, we couldn't stop. We could have gone on.
It was
for
like
days.
50 minutes or 60 minutes in the end.
And
I think the edited version is about 50.
It's so good. So we're reaching out to him and talking about having him do a master class for all of us in this community. It was so good.
It was really good. There's a couple of, there's quite a lot of points actually where it's like, oh my goodness, I think I see the world differently now because of the way he's explained that. You know, it's like, it's
what
huge.
Great wisdom. Yeah. You're going to love this show.
It was really good. And I think he enjoyed it as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
So
and then we've got the director of Convoy of Hope is coming up. We've got Paula Ferris, NBC.
It's at the NBC,
NBC News. Yeah. So we got
more big fish.
Yeah. But today,
it's great. It's all about Mike. Yeah.
Mike
Lightner.
Yeah. He's been
a rock for us, hasn't he? For years.
He's he is the Empowered Living team lead for events.
Yeah.
And volunteers for that. He's volunteers for everything. I mean, he's such a great guy.
And he just gets on with it.
Yeah.
Even if you haven't asked him to do it, he just gets on with it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's his like military commitment.
Exactly.
Right? The guy he is so disciplined.
No fuss. No. Just like get it done.
Yeah. If you want it done, give it to Mike.
Never missed anything ever.
I know.
Yeah.
You're gonna this is a great this book in particular. Just thoughts. I think it's a fantastic quote, and then just his take on it. And you just kind of stay with it for a week, you know?
I like the way a lot of his background is in there, working in the military and the things that he's learned, the mistakes he's made, and he's very kind of honest about that.
Especially when you look at Mike now, you see him as one of the most disciplined, kind of organized, kind of just, like get it done guys.
Yeah.
And then when he describes kind of his early days,
he
barely made it out of school.
Yeah.
He
see him in a different light.
He was a total goofball. And here's a guy that, have you ever seen him when he's in his military clothes?
Yeah, only on Facebook.
He looks sharp.
Yeah, he does. He looks like the real deal, doesn't he?
Well, he is. I mean, he's the real deal. And, worked out of the Pentagon, oversaw billions of dollars and thousands of people, working out of the Pentagon.
Right.
And and then he tells a story about, riding a motorcycle through basic training through the camp and stuff.
But then he had his never again moment, his turning point moment.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And, he's one of those guys, rarely is there somebody where that's it. They get the lesson and their life changes. And he did. He really did. So,
fantastic.
So we're excited to introduce you to him. So we did an interview with him yesterday, I believe. And so we'll play that for you today. Pick up the book. I'm sure in the comments there's probably a link to the book. So go ahead and click on that. Grab this book. Great gift too. I mean, you want to? You could probably order it and get it before 4th of July. It'd be great.
Great gift.
Great gift. All right.
Should we play the interview?
Yeah, let's hear from Mike.
Enjoy. Hey, Mike. How are you?
I am fantastic. How are you doing, Rowdy? How you doing, Paul?
Yeah, very good.
Yes.
Thanks for doing this. Thanks for joining us this morning.
So are you in warm, sunny Alaska?
Well, not so warm and sunny today. It's about 53 degrees out, a little chilly, but the sun should be out. I think later this week. I think they're hoping to have some sun like around Tuesday or Wednesday.
Is it perpetually light at the moment because it's summertime? So it's like 24 hours of
sunlight.
Light.
Yeah, so right now we peak out. It starts getting dark around midnight, and then it doesn't really get dark though. It goes into like a dusk state until about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and then it starts getting light again. So it doesn't truly get dark, but it doesn't really stay light either. Yeah. What happens is the sun kind of goes around and it goes behind the mountains, and then it comes out on the other side.
That's it.
Yeah.
I have to see that one day.
You know, Mike, we always say who you learn from matters. Would love to hear, can you just kind of give us the Reader's Digest of your life? Because it's a really interesting life. And I don't think people realize at what level when you finally retired from a service career in the military, at what level you were at, where you're serving in the Pentagon. Can you kind of give us just a Reader's Digest first of kind of your biography?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. People, they see the tail end of my life and they're like, oh man, that is so cool. But what they totally miss is the front end, like the part where I barely graduated from high school, right? Straight D student. In fact, I'm convinced that a lot of teachers put me out of their class with a D so they wouldn't have to have me back the next year, right? And then I joined the military at 17, took off. My first 3 years in the military were a train wreck. I mean, I got in trouble for riding my motorcycle through the dorms. I got in trouble for if it was stupid and you could do it, then I probably did. And then I was on the phone one night with a buddy of mine from back home, and he's like, hey, Mike, I'm super excited to have you come back. My boss is going to hook you up with a job. And of course, I'm excited too. And then I went back to my room and I'm thinking about it. And I'm like, I'm working on multi-million-dollar aircraft, traveling all around the world. And I'm going to go back to Belvedere, Illinois and deliver pizzas for a living. Oh, heck no. I went in the next day. I begged my boss to help me re-enlist. And then it was like a light switch flicked. All of those problems, all of those issues just kind of went away. Like I finally committed myself to something that was worth having, right? Like a career in the military, something worth doing. And all of those personal issues, all of those problems I was creating in my off-duty time just stopped happening. It was kind of cool. And then from there, my journey went on, just kind of like doing the best I could with what I had. But at about the midpoint in my career, I had a friend and mentor, somebody I really looked up to, walk into my shop and tell me, Mike, we get the impression if you looked up, you couldn't see the light of day. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, we get the feeling you are so far in over your head that if you looked up, you couldn't see the light of day. And I was like, what does he know, right? I'm thinking in my head, like, dude, we are working 12 hours a day, sometimes 6 days a week. We are busting our butts trying to turn this place around. And who are you to say that, right? Like, we are doing everything we can. But then that weekend, I had to sit down and really think about it. And the reality was, he was right, man. We were stuck. And as you say, stuck stinks. It's a terrible place to be. And, it didn't matter who he sent us, how many people he sent us. All of that was irrelevant. The problem was I wasn't doing very good as a leader. And that's where I committed to actually learning leadership skills. And I picked up a book called The 1 Minute Manager by Ken Blanchard.
Sure.
Great book. I committed to sit down and read it. Up till this point in my life, I don't think I've ever actually read a book cover to cover, but that book I sat and I read cover to cover in one sitting. And I realized that I love to learn leadership stuff. And that kind of led through all of Ken's stuff into some of Ken Blanchard's stuff. I read the whole Fish series. And then I got into John Maxwell, and that was it. Like, I pretty much stuck in John Maxwell for a good 4 or 5 year period after that. And then that kind of turned my career around. I mean, I became the fix-it guy for our career fields. If there was a base that was broken, they would PCS me and my family in and have me turn it around, and then they would move me on to the next base.
And when
and it
you
all
when you
started. Go ahead.
when you, I'm sorry, when you retired, like you were leading how many people?
About 5,200. Yeah, I was the career field manager and working up out of the Pentagon, and I managed 5,200 people and about $8 billion worth of stuff.
$8 billion
Yeah,
worth
with
of
a B.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big
Like
numbers.
stuff meaning like aircraft and equipment stuff.
Yeah, we managed and maintained all of the safety and survival equipment on the aircraft. So like pilots' helmets, oxygen masks, survival kits, their parachutes. If you've ever flown on a commercial airliner, those little masks that come down or the life
Yeah.
preservers they show you. Yeah, we managed all those. The escape slides that come out of the airplane that you slide down, all of that. We took care of it all.
Wow. So why this book? And what number is this book? Thoughts I think. What number is this for you?
That's number 4 for me. It really came to light. I've been kind of a quote collector since I started really learning leadership. And there was a book by Ken Blanchard. It's called Heart of a Leader. And this book really resonated with me. In fact, for a long time, I kept it, actually, for the second half of my career, I kept it on my desk. And every Monday I would come in and I would open it up and I'd read the quote, I'd read his thoughts, and I would just kind of think into his thoughts in the quote. And, you know, is that really what I think too, right? This book really kind of taught me how to think deeply into something. And so when I became an author, I knew I wanted to be able to produce something similar to that. And that's kind of how this book came to light. I went back through, I started, when I got to Travis Air Force Base, it was really broke. I mean, the guy that was there just got fired. The commander was deployed. It was a train wreck. And the problem was I had over 50 people assigned, but 22 of them were deployed. They were all in different places all around the desert. And I had to figure out, how do I get them to where I am? Like, how do I get them to understand my thoughts and philosophies on how this shop should be run? So I started taking quotes and then explaining to them what that quote meant to me. And I started just emailing it out, whether they were here in town or if they were overseas, they would all get exactly the same thing. And basically what I was doing, I was recreating his book through email, but in my words. And I did that for many years at different bases, and even from the Pentagon, I was sending those out. And I've built this big repository of these things, and this book is really kind of the best of that.
How many are there, Mike? How many quotes and thoughts do you share in the book?
In here, it's 56. What I decided to do is put in at least enough for a year. So that way, if you decided to just do one a week like I did, then you would have that. But then there's a few bonus ones in there too. So maybe you read one on Monday where maybe it didn't really resonate with you. You could skip that one and move on to the next, and be able to do that and still fill out the year.
So what did you send them out to people then every week, and then you'd give them your thoughts on it or your insights or questions, or what did you send them exactly?
Yeah, a lot of it was just my thoughts. I wanted them to kind of know my character, who I was at the core. Character eats vision for lunch. And I realized that early on, that it didn't matter what the vision statement was that we plastered above the door. The question was, if they were posed with a question, were they going to answer it with the bad programming they had from the past, or were they going to answer that question as Mike would answer it? Right? Because as leaders, we can't be in all places at all times. So the best we can do is get our people to understand our thinking, so that then they can make decisions like we would if we were there. And that was
what happened at Travis Air Base when you started doing this? Did it work? Did you turn it around?
Well, we went from the worst program in AMC, like documented for forever, like for years. That was the place we sent everybody when we wanted them to get fired or retired. We went from that to program of the year for AMC in less than a year. Yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing. It's amazing what, compounding effect of kind of consistency and sharing just a thought can do. Is there one that jumps out at you, Mike?
I was going to ask
Is there one that before we let you go, is there one that you can share
favorite?
that sticks out for you?
Yeah, well, there's actually 3 quotes in here from you, Paul. Believe it or not. So one of my favorite ones, and I'm gonna read it because I don't wanna mess it up. But it basically, you were on a call and you were talking about building programs, right? And you were talking about don't let the simplicity of this fool you, right? And just because you and then you went into just because you know something or doesn't mean that you understand it, and just because you understand it doesn't mean that you know it. And I thought, how true is that? I went all through high school like memorizing a bunch of stuff so that I could take a test, but I didn't really understand any of it, right? Like, because I wasn't interested in any of it. It was like history stuff, like dates and numbers and times and people and stuff that really just wasn't important to me. I learned it, but I didn't understand any of it. And I certainly didn't understand the relevance to me in the world that I'm living in right now. So that quote from you was simply brilliant. And although I applied it outside of your original framework, I think that's where the real gold of these quotes are, is when you can take them and apply them in other areas of your life, maybe growing them beyond their original scope, right? The original intent.
Quotes are just really powerful. Roddy and I both love, we just love quotes. We're going to be doing we're going to probably do a week where we just do quotes and talk about them. And I'm sure we're going to
pick some of yours.
Hey, before we let you go, there's a question we love to ask everybody. And that is, what does an empowered life, mean to you? What does it mean to live an empowered life?
Yeah, to live an empowered life for me means that when you lay your head on the pillow at night, just before you go to bed, you do it knowing that you've made your own life and the lives of the people around you just 1% better, right? Not, maybe you didn't make a huge impact, but you made enough of an impact that you yourself and everyone around you is just a little better off. To me, if you can do that, you are truly living an empowered life.
That is so good.
Fantastic.
You have done that for this community so much. You're such a great gift. You serve anytime we've asked you, even when we haven't asked you, you've stepped in, you've anticipated our needs and just, something needed done. And before we could ask someone, you were there doing it. We just so appreciate and value. For those of you who are watching either live or on the recording, pick up this book. You're going to really love it. What a great way to just start your week. Take a quote and just marinate with it, right? Just let it sit and play with it. And I think what I like about this process, Mike, is you're hearing a quote and then you're saying, what's the context to my life, right? How do I integrate that into my life? And quotes changed my life. And I know it'll change other people. So thank you so much. Thanks for all you do.
Thanks,
guys. Click on the link below. And then also, Mike, you can, if you'd like to get, Mike's got some great free resources. If you go to the letter D, the number 2 and the letter D, so it's D2Dleadership.com. There's other free resources that Mike's given away that will just help you on your personal growth journey and your leadership journey, whether you're doing that journey right now by yourself or you're leading your team. Great resources. And maybe it's time for you to get a coach. And if you're looking for some great coaching, Mike would be a great coach to have. Absolutely. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Be well.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
God bless.
What a great interview. What a lovely man.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. And we really, really appreciate Mike. And this whole week we're trying to spotlight, people in the community. Let me give you an example of this book. I picked this one out. Oftentimes in life, there are those once in a lifetime opportunities, the ones that whether we miss them or not, they will change our lives forever. Isn't that true, right?
Absolutely.
So that's the quote. Yeah. And then Mike kind of gives his synopsis. During the first half of my career in the military, I was a terrible leader. You know the type. Do this now because I said so. Or we have a job to do. Take care of that other stuff on your own personal time. I was not well prepared for the position I was promoted into, and I just assumed that if I needed any training, the military would have already provided it for me. That was until the day when I nearly got fired. On that day, I had a decision to make. I could reject the idea that I was failing, or I could accept the truth and do something about it. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and no matter what choice was made, my career was going to take a drastically different path. Lucky for me, I made the hard choice to accept the truth of the situation and commit to expanding my knowledge of leadership. I can't even imagine how different my life would be right now if I hadn't set my pride aside and asked for some help. So that's an example of kind of a quote and then how he used that principle in his life. And this is great just for your desktop. I mean, if you're just wanting to kind of think, what I typically do with books like this is, do you do this too? I just kind of like,
dip into
okay, that's the one I'm going to take.
Right, yeah, sometimes.
Whenever which channel I open
what do I
up,
want to eat today?
That's the one, yeah. I just kind of ask God, tell me what I need, and then I take it. You'll love this book. It's a great book to do that with, a great book to learn from. And a great way also, I think most importantly, support people who are, who are on their journey.
Because you'll have your book or your program out there soon. You'll be on the platform.
That's right.
And you'll be a show host or, one way or another.
Yeah.
And people will support you.
Yeah.
What you put out comes back to you.
That's right. And you'll want people to encourage you. So this is a great way for you to encourage Mike.
Yeah.
And really, everybody we highlight on the show. This is the sole purpose of, the Empowered Living platform. Everybody who's talked about what it means to live an empowered life talks about service of other people, right?
Yeah.
Empowering
in
themselves.
slightly different ways. It's interesting how people have slightly different takes, isn't it? But it's about helping others.
Yeah, lifting people
supporting
up.
one another. So
that's kind of the value of the platform, right? That's one of our core values is empower yourself through empowering other people, help other people, encourage other people, make people's journey a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Lift them up.
And you'll benefit in the process.
Yeah, and if you can support them, support them. So this is a great, really great book. Great one of those books if you're a quote person like Roddy and I are. This is great. If you're looking for just a good kind of daily thought or daily devotional, this is another one of those just great resources.
With just a little bit of context to go with it. It's not just like a normal quote book. It's got a bit of context and it helps you think. Because that example, he talks about pride. And I wouldn't have thought of pride in that situation and then I'm thinking about, a fork in the road and am I going to insist on being right and keep doing it wrong?
Yeah.
Or am I going to accept, that I'm not right and maybe some humility and then choose a different path, see the truth, as he said.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you read something like this, you do think, it causes you to, what I like about this is none of these things are going to give you a brain hernia.
Right.
He's not telling you what you should think.
Yeah.
Right? He's just saying, here, for me, because as I thought about that, I thought about, just different times in my life where, there is that, I can go one way or the other.
Right.
And do I want to be right or do I want to get it right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that means swallowing your pride very often, doesn't it? I know it does for me because
but I would never have thought of pride.
Yeah, unless he put it in
That's
there.
right.
Exactly. So, that really, really helps.
Hey, thanks a lot, Mike. And
thanks, Mike.
Thanks everybody for tuning in.
And Paul Gustafson tomorrow.
Yep. And tonight, Black Entrepreneurs Institute, 7:30 tonight.
Eastern.
Okay. Be well.
We'll see you then.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. God bless.